Binti LOVE podcast. Okay, this is the sports review. Okay, let's talk about the 2026 French Open. Hey guys. Okay, so this is still for the trial for Tupac Shakur. It's 3 p.m. chat time with Binti LOVE podcast. I just wanted to report on Day-7. Yep, it's Day-7 of the trial for Tupac Shakur, who passed away. Now, for those of you who are just tuning in, Tupac Shakur, he got shot back in September 7th of 1996. He went to see a Mike Tyson fight, allegedly at the Flamingo Hotel in Las Vegas. Now, with Day-7, there's more evidence that speaks about Tupac being alive after the shooting and was able to speak. Yes. Now, the person that is on trial is Dwayne Davis. He speaks about a lot of stuff, trying to tell you about the heartless murder of Tupac Shakur and all the people that were involved. But he says that he was the mastermind, allegedly, behind it. Now his lawyer is trying to, I don't know what his lawyer is trying to do. I guess get him off a trial, although he spoke and says he did kill him. Probably a plea of guilty by him is what they're trying to get. And so, again, he got locked up, Dwayne Davis, the one that is accused of Tupac Shakur's murder in 1996. He got locked up in 2023, starting August of this year of 2026. This is the trial. Now, on Day-7, Tupac's, a friend of Tupac, back in 1996, says that he was in the vehicle riding behind Tupac. He goes by Greenidge, his name. I don't know if that's his first name or his last name. But he says that the last things that Tupac said to him was, "Get on the ground or they're going to shoot you." Okay, that's what the last words that Greenidge is saying that Tupac said to him. Now, allegedly, this is after Tupac already had been shot. So we know it gives it a different spin on things now, doesn't it? We know that Tupac Shakur was alive after the shooting. And so, I don't know if it was the adrenaline that's running that made him be able, and Tupac after that made him be able to warn his friend that get on the ground or they gonna shoot you. Okay. Now, Tupac's friend, basically, he kind of turned around and he saw that there was a police officer that had a gun focus right at his face. Because how did the police officer know that Greenwich was his friend, Tupac's friend, and not the man that shot Tupac? So I think that warning was the warning that helped his friend live. Because if you just run up like, oh my gosh, what happened? And you stand over another man who got shot. When Tupac was in the car, he probably knelt down next to Tupac in the passenger seat. Because, when police, when they get on a scene, they're just looking for who did it and why. Yeah. And a lot of times you could be a eyewitness and had nothing to do with it, but you showed up, and they think it's you. Guilty by association. So that was a very key warning that Tupac gave his friend, because he might have got shot by the police if he just stood up and did something unusual with his hands. The police might have shot him. So that was the love that Tupac had for people. Although he's there sitting in the chair, allegedly, in the car, the passenger seat. After getting shot, he turned to his friend and spoke to him. And he spoke to him, to make sure that his friend does not stand up and get shot himself. So the warning was, and that's the last words that Tupac said to him: get on the ground or they gonna shoot you. Now that's a friend indeed. Now, Greenwich, his friend, also notices that Tupac still was dreaming. He had future dreams and things of that sort. He wanted to create his own record label called Michellebilove Records, which would have been under the parent company of Death Row Records, ran by Suge Knight at the time. So that's something we didn't know about. So these key witnesses coming forward are very important to the process and the mindset of Tupac. He had no idea that this was going to be his fatal time, that his dreams were going to be squashed by common thugs that did not like that he dreamt a better dream for himself than the common local thugs that he was trying to elevate himself, and the ones he could bring with him higher up, he was trying to do that. But so he had dreams of starting his own record company on the Death Row, and I'm sure if he was still alive, he probably would have did that. So he had no, this is so key to the case, because he had no inclination that he was going to get shot that night. No warning at all that he was going to get shot that night. And so Suge Knight was making plans, to have his parent company called Death Row to start Tupac's company underneath death row. So I think this is a key witness that gives a lot of information based upon what were the mindsets of the people at that time. So knowing that, it really does kind of clear allegedly Suge Knight from having any real motive to be the one, the mastermind, to kill his friend Tupac Shakur, when they were talking about and having plans to really start the record company for Tupac Shakur. So that kind of clears, in my opinion, in my commentary, in my reporting, it kind of clears Suge Knight from why would he be trying to shoot a man that he's trying to start another record company with. Yeah. So it does give more insight to all the things that have been on people's minds for years. Yeah. And in that factor, there being a trial does help that. Yeah. Also people allege that P. Diddy had something to do with shooting Tupac Shakur. And we don't even know if someone can say, was P. Diddy even in Vegas on that night? So that's very important also. And I feel as though these are key points that we need to know. Now again, it says Tupac's friend, they've known each other from childhood. His name is Malcolm Greenidge. A nickname of something of like he was a mean person. A mean. I don't know. It says something about a nickname he might have had. But he was a friend of Tupac. And again, they say it's a drive-by shooting. But all this time I felt like they were not in the car that shot Tupac. I felt like they were physically like there. But this is the first time I realized that, through the case, that I don't know how many lanes was on that street, but there's a lot of lanes. That was a big street. So to give the visual, so allegedly Tupac Shakur, driven by Suge Knight, was in one car. And so being that Tupac was on the passenger side, that means that the car that came up and shot Tupac was on the right of the vehicle. And so they blocked him in front of the car that Tupac was in, and blocked him in the back of the car. So they couldn't back up, they couldn't go forward, so they had to stop. And then the car on the right of Tupac pulled up in the right lane to Tupac, and that's when the gunshots happened. So it could have been just one person. It could have just been one person. And, and Dwayne Davis is saying he is that person. But I also spoke about in some testimony that Dwayne Davis allegedly gave a gun to his nephew So his nephew was in the car. Allegedly, if that's what they're saying. So I really want someone to actually clear up how many, was it just one gun that shot up the car? Because I think they didn't take a lot of stuff into evidence back then, which they should have, because how many guns shot into the car? Now, it might have been a bullet that they felt that later on caused Tupac's death in the hospital 6 days later. But how many different guns shot into the car? If they can clear that up, that would be helpful, to understand how many people was in the car with Duane Davis. Now, he put a lot of stuff in his book. The man Duane, accused of being the one who actually killed Tupac Shakur. I haven't read the book. Nor am I going to publicize and talk about the book. But there is a book out there where Duane Davis actually speaks about how he feels about Tupac, Suge Knight, and other people. Now, I don't know when someone's going to come forward about P. Diddy's involvement. Because if P. Diddy wasn't there, how was he involved? Now, maybe they're saying that he was the one that allegedly put the hit of Tupac Shakur in place. And talk about that, But I'm very happy that the childhood friend, Malcolm Greenidge, came forward. And so we now know that Tupac Shakur did not die in the car. We already know that. Because I said he died 6 days later, and I'm presuming it was in the hospital. But it's a total difference to know that he was able to talk and warn. He was able to warn his friend after the shooting. And to be able to talk to him and tell his friend, get on the ground or they gonna shoot you. And those were the cops, the police. Now, allegedly, the jurors there, they were shown different type of things. And, Davis was a person that Duane Davis, that he collected, like this was his claim to fame or something. Various newspaper clippings from 1996 of the day that Tupac Shakur got shot. That's weird. What is this about? Also, again, Duane Davis was a street thug, a gang banger, a gang member. He was a part of the Southside Compton Crips. So he was, although we do think he's a little dumb, because he's confessing to all this. Why do that? Because no one really knew. But he was the person that get, younger dudes a part of the gang to basically do a hit. You know, if he didn't like somebody or something like that, Davis was the one that would call a hit on someone else because of lack of disrespect that he might have thought that someone was giving him or something of that nature. But it is what it is, and but for those who have loved Tupac for years, having some of this information come out helps, and it clears other people's names that were allegedly associated with the death of Tupac. Yeah, it definitely does that, in my opinion. And this is just me reporting on the facts of the case and giving my commentary. And again, it's definitely a reach-in into the minds of the people of that night to show some clearance and some light. Okay. Make sure to make love your guiding source. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe, guys, right now. Hit that subscription button. And share this video with 10 people and tell them to do the same. Bye-bye.